Thank you. Annie, picture this. Two porcupines are in the woods, and they're staring at an Indian village, and there's a man sitting on the ground near the fire, and he's making a black ash basket. The first porcupine says to the other one, "Geez, I hope they don't invent quill work." Nobody knows for sure how long quill work has been done in this country. For thousands of years, Native people have been using the hairs of a porcupine to decorate boxes. And since we didn't have a written language, the boxes they made out of birch bark had a picture on top of what was inside the box. It might be dried fish, might be dried deer meat, might be seeds, dried grapes, could have been anything, could have been medicines in there. But our original quill boxes were used for storing foods, seeds, herbs, medicines, clothing, tools, arrowheads, anything you could get inside of these containers. So maybe 1,000 years ago or more, someone started using the quills from the porcupine, and I like to tell this other story where the man comes home with a porcupine, and he puts it on the ground next to the lodge, and then he wants his woman to clean it and cook it, which she does. And this happens often because a porcupine is easy to kill in the wild. To this day, there is no law that protects a porcupine. It's open season on him anytime. So after this man brings all these porcupines home and leaves it on the side of the lodge, and the woman cleans it and cooks it, one day he comes home and he's annoyed, and he says, "And do something with these quills," and he's pointing at the quills all on the ground. So I believe a woman used the quills to invent the decorations on the quill boxes. I also believe that quill boxes were invented before or after, shortly after the black ash baskets, because the birch bark baskets fit inside the black ash baskets as a storage unit. So when I got the award, I was very surprised. All my life, I had been taught to be diligent, to work hard, to do my best, and it was the upbringing from the Catholic boarding school that instilled that in me. But what the boarding school took away was my ability to make decisions. I couldn't say no. I couldn't speak because we weren't allowed to speak in school. And then, so that handicapped me when I went to public school. I was an individual, like a fish out of water, a social misfit, and my 4 years of high school were the loneliest years of my life, when they're supposed to be the happiest for young people. So by learning how to do quill work, my teacher was Susan Shaganabi, and I was extremely shy. I was highly disciplined. Everything she taught me, she was very patient, very kind. I like to tease my students and tell them, that they're going to learn how to do quill work, and if they don't, I'm going to hit them with a stick. But my teacher was never like that, and I'm not like that with my students. But she told me often, many times, that one of her biggest fears was that when she walked on, the art of quill work was going to be gone, because there were so few young people getting interested in the quill work. So I kept hearing that from her during the 6 years I worked with her, and every time I heard her say that, I thought, not as long as I'm alive. So I fell in love with doing quill work. I used to do beadwork, but when I learned how to do quill work, I gave them my beads, my leathers, and the other things I was working with, and did nothing but quill work. I studied the animal, did a term paper on him, and did the best I could, to get over my shyness And she told me that someday people are going to come to you and they're going to want to know. They're going to ask you questions, because they want to know what you know. You're going to be an expert. And I didn't believe her. I just kept on working. When I realized what a good teacher she was, by then she had passed on. But I know that during the thousands of years that Native people have been doing quill work, there have always been teachers there to teach another person how to do the art form. People call it quill work. I call it therapy. It's good for me. It's good for the tribe. It's good for the culture. It's one of the best things we have, because without the good things in our culture, then we wouldn't survive. So on behalf of all the teachers who went on before me, I want to thank National Endowment for the award. One of the other things that I would like to do is thank all those teachers that went ahead of me. They worked one-on-one and taught people. And it's always the future is in our young people. So what the award did was made me proud of myself, made me proud of my tribe, made me really proud of my teacher, because she's not here to see, what her work and efforts have brought about. So my teacher's name, I give credit to her. Her name was Susan Shaganaby. She was a full-blood Odawa woman from Harbor Springs. And her being the good teacher taught me how to be a good teacher. And so the award gives me an opportunity to teach more. I have been given many requests to go to schools, to do presentations, to talk to people, and to share what I know. Some people think some of my tribal members think it's a mistake saying that you're selling the farm, but I believe that power is sharing knowledge. It's not keeping it within myself, for myself or for the few people in my family. I teach whoever I can, tell them about it, and if they want to learn, I am willing to share that. So to all the teachers, I say thank you, Chimigwach, and I will continue on to do the best I can and to keep this art form going. People call it work, quill work. To me, it's something I love to do. And my son relabeled it as quill art, not quill work. So all of you people out there listening, if you want to learn quill work, I'm in Michigan. I do a workshop once a year at Three Pines Studio in Cross Village, and the people come and take the class. And by the time they're done, at the end of the week, they have a 3-inch quill box made. So with the monies that I got from the Heritage Award, I plan on writing and finishing a book. I wrote it in 1973, a step-by-step how to do porcupine quill work. And with this award monies, I am finally going to get it published. Thank you.